Okay, so one of the things I found very interesting about the psychoanalytic tradition and also some of the neurological work on dreams in relationship to this issue of hemispheric specialization was the idea that dreams, which would be in the domain of imagination, intuition, are willing to sacrifice consistency for inclusion. And so you can see these contradictory perceptual and conceptual elements being brought together in a dream, because what the dream, this is a Jungian idea, idea derived from Carl Jung, that the dream extends the narrow range of what we might describe as left hemisphere consistency into a broader domain where that consistent theory is not comprehensive enough to account for everything. And because it's consistent but not comprehensive, it's going to produce paradoxes. And then in order to increase the degree to which it's comprehensive, you have to introduce what look like paradoxes within the system. And from within the system, that looks like a categorical or a logical error. But from the broader context, it's actually a movement to a more inclusive and comprehensive way of perceiving the world. And dreams do that. And it's one of the things I loved about the Jungian notion was that we have this delimited domain of explicit propositional knowledge, but partly because of the requirements for consistency and our finite nature, it can't be comprehensive. And so we need something to fill the gap between the consistent and narrow and the ultimately unknown. And that is, in fact, the realm of dream and imagination.
Yeah. No, that's right. And there are virtues to the dream world, if necessary, but certainly to intuition that are not open to pure reason, which is not in any sense to devalue or disparage reason. It's, in fact, I worry that in our age, reason is being sacrificed, that we're becoming completely unreasonable. There are two kinds of ways of thinking about reason. One is a kind of logical formulaic carrying out of procedures and following of pathways that in a sense could be programmed into a computer. And the other is a very powerful idea that has been important in Western history for hundreds of years, which is the idea of being able to bring together what we know from logic with what we understand from experience, from intuition, from context, from our embodied lives, the kind of wisdom that a good judge would be able to bring to a case, not just saying, well, look, I've looked up the rule book and it says in clause 186 or whatever. No, I mean, that judge should be a fully functioning human being. And this kind of reason, which is nuanced, which is sober, which is much more inclusive and less combative than the kind of reason, the very sort of skeletal kind of reasoning that now seems to have tossed the other kind of reasoning out of the nest. That's the kind that holds sway at the moment. So what